Hello and welcome to this micro-focused video tutorial discussing how to install the ZENworks Service Desk version 8 appliance. So what we'll be covering in this presentation, we'll be covering about what's new in version 8, the advantages for the Common Appliance Framework model, install strategies, install tasks, post-install tasks, system requirements, appliance administration console, the appliance install demonstration, debug and login information, resources, and tips. What's new in version 8? There's a new end-user portal architecture with Angular coding. Some of that new end-user portal architecture includes enhanced filtering options, a responsive layout, enhanced mobile view, simplified incident creation, global search, and so forth. It also has edit filters. Currently, you don't have an option in ZSD to edit your saved filters and changing your filtering criteria other than just deleting it and creating a new one. ZENworks Service Desk 8.0 brings a solution to it by allowing you to edit your saved or shared filter with your modified criteria. You'll also be able to report cost of work. If a user needs financial reports, let's say for billing to their departments, currently we don't have such canned reports available in Service Desk. With Service Desk 8.0, they can rightly access the following reports to access various aspects of their cost of work by customer, by org unit, by request, and by date, and by technician. Another enhancement is the multi-session support. Currently in version 7.5 and below, you can only have one active session running in Service Desk. If you try to attempt to log into another browser, it'll kick you out of the first session. In 8.0, we are introducing a configurable option for multi-session support if you need it. By enabling this option, you should be able to have multiple login sessions across browsers and across systems. What's new also includes the import of inventoried hardware. At present, we can only import managed hardware devices of ZENworks into Service Desk. We cannot import the inventory devices that have been scanned either by the inventory module or by the portable collector and doesn't have the ZENworks agent installed. With ZSD 8.0, we are bringing a new capability to import inventory hardware devices along with managed devices and providing enhanced filtering options to search and list managed, inventory, and other devices. We also have a join proxy with ZCC Helper. Currently, ZSD has the ability to remote control any managed device through ZCC Helper. However, it's not possible for you to remote control a device that is in a private network or across a NAT or firewall. With ZSD 8, we are introducing the feature where you can make use of the join proxy satellite server of ZENworks and remotely control any Windows managed device located in various private networks. Version 8 also allows you to have the hypervisor for Hyper-V. Service Desk Appliance is currently supported with only VMware, and now with 8.0, this new enhancement, you can also choose Hyper-V as your virtual environment to deploy ZENworks Service Desk. The calendar enhancement, which is the introduction of the subject line. Today, the calendar only shows reference numbers of a ticket, and it's difficult to figure out what actually the ticket is talking about. In 8.0, the technician can see the subject line of the request so that they can see at a glance what it relates to. Another new item is request URL for all email templates. The request URL is a link that is identified by the request number and links the user directly to the request within the Service Desk. So far, the option was not available on all request-related templates. In 8.0, the request URL option makes it easy for customers as well as technicians to easily click on the link within a received email to jump directly to the request within Service Desk. This option is now available to all request-related templates. Another enhancement is permalinks for tickets. Currently, technician doesn't have a way to share the request that holds the details of a request to any other technician. With the current implementation in 8.0, a technician can see the auto-generated permalink in the request details page named as direct linked. Then they can apparently share the same to any other technician who has access to Service Desk. Clicking on the permalink, the technician would be navigated to the request details page. The feature is applicable for generic, change, service, incident requests, and problem requests. And last but not least, another major enhancement is device-based assignment of store items. In the store workflow, when requested a bundle today, the user selects the item that they want to access, and when the approval finishes, the assignment is made to the user. However, many applications are licensed by machine, and this would mean that the user could install the app on multiple devices potentially. That would cause being out of compliance. With this enhancement feature, we are bringing an ability to configure the assignment extension for either a user or for a device. In 8.0, when a request is submitted, the end user must select which of their ZENworks devices to be assigned with the bundle. The system would then cause an extension to make the assignment to that device on approval instead of to that user. Advantages for an appliance model. Starting with version 7.5, standardize the migration path for future versions by using the VA storage and the common appliance framework model. Having an appliance model allows for quicker upgrade processes as the product evolves to newer versions of the appliance and base operating system. And the additional volume helps with quicker upgrades, minimizing downtime. The operating system online updates can be performed or scheduled through the Service Desk Online Updates channel, processed in the administration console. This also increases the product security by not applying unnecessary patches or updates and only starting needed services for the Service Desk application to function. The ability for backups with snapshots before upgrade minimizes prep time before upgrades. There's no charge for the operating system licenses. The appliance model also allows for faster product release cycles because the enhancement and testing is done on a single platform instead of multiple platforms. This gives more time to implement new features and your new ideas from the Ideas portal. Internally minted SSL certificates is standard and secures the website, and external certificates can be imported easily from the administration console. Change control system downtime for upgrades is vastly reduced. The administration console on port 9443 allows management of the appliance without additional Linux experience in a common browser. Also, you can easily prop up a no-cost test system to train or test upgrades and migrations without any additional cost. Install strategies. Service Desk 8.0 supports the appliance model only. The virtual machine appliances have embedded database pre-configured. However, you can use external databases for your Service Desk. See the documentation on this. Make sure you verify the system and the database requirements. System files and database schema are upgraded with each upgrade iteration. The install method is propping up a virtual machine. The upgrade processes, should you be doing upgrades, is N-1 or N-2 version increments. Meaning you can go from 7.4 or version 7.5 appliance to the 8.0 appliance. But if you're on version 7.3 or below, you'll have to make a couple of bumps. Talking about installs though, the pre and post upgrade tasks will be noted in the next couple slides. A couple more install strategies. Verify the checksum of all downloaded files from the support site. Verify time sync between server and database if you have an external database. Verify the disk and database space. Make sure you verify the servers are on the same subnets if you have a server with an external database. And make sure you have a fast connection to the database. File directory structures change between some versions, so be sure to check the documentation if you're doing upgrades. Version 8 requires additional virtual disk called VA storage or virtual appliance storage. And this slide shows us the system requirements. You have components on the left. Since it's appliance only, you have the hypervisors that's supported. You have the appliance OS. You have the RAM, core CPUs, the supported database versions, and you need 2 volumes. Remember, we add that VA storage. And then the disk space is minimum 40 gigabytes. And do note that if you're doing installs or upgrades, you should have at least 5 gigabytes disk space free and running 10 gigabytes space free plus the content stored for attachments and pictures. Some of the pre-install tasks would be to upload the service desk to the hypervisor, create a VA storage virtual disk for that particular appliance, identify network address, DNS, and NTP configurations, and if you have an external database, configure the supported database. The install tasks would be to power up the Service Desk appliance, accept the license agreement, configure the root and SD-admin passwords. Root is a little obvious, but SD-admin is a Service Desk admin that logs into the appliance administration console. Configure the network settings, static IPs and DNS. Configure the partition type for added virtual disks, the VA storage. Configure the time zone, and then go to port 9443 to complete the installation. And we'll cover that in a demonstration. Some of the post-install tasks would be to configure NTP settings, register the online updates for the Micro Focus Customer Center channel, configure version 8 using the Getting Started wizard. This will help you configure the email configuration, the LDAP settings, some AMI, ZENworks, and other features of Service Desk. Then configure any external system communications if you have two-form factor authentication or federation connections. Configure features, the new end-user portal, store options, join proxy, etc. Back up the new Service Desk 8.0 and its components, and then update your company's Service Desk system configuration documentation. On the appliance, when you finish the install, you'll see this at the console to go to port 9443. Once you log into port 9443 in a browser, you'll get the appliance administration console. Here you have Ganglia monitoring, Ganglia configuration, the online update channel, administrative password, system services, can all be managed when logged in as SD admin for the appliance configuration. The ZENworks Service Desk appliance, if logged in as SD admin, you have the ability to do some Service Desk configuration, Terminal and File Explorer, logs. You have a classic ZENworks Service Desk, and then the new ZENworks Service Desk, which has the Angular coding for the customer. And then the migration for version 7.4. You also have the ability to reboot, shut down, and restart services. If you log in as root, you have a couple more tiles here: network, time, storage, and firewall. So you can manage more of the OS when logged in as root. Let's demonstrate installing Micro Focus Service Desk version 8 with an embedded database. Let's go ahead and demonstrate the installation of the appliance. I've checked the checksum. I've downloaded into my VMware. I'm now going to create another hard disk for the VA storage. Has to be 40 gigs or bigger. We'll make it 60. You can select the other appropriate settings. We are going to name this VA storage. Now we're okay to powering up this particular appliance. We'll accept the Service Desk Appliance License Agreement. We're going to put in the root password for the OS and the SD admin password. The SD admin password is for the Service Desk Appliance Administration Console. Check our region and time. Give it our host name. We're going to keep it a static IP address. Give it an IP address. Modify the subnet mask to match. Add any other DNS settings that you might need for your environment and any optional domain searches. Select Next. Now it'll configure the network and it'll prompt us for that disk. If it doesn't see the disk, it'll set a prompt and say power down, create the VA storage disk, and try again. But since we have included it, we can see the 60 gig is here. We can set the file system type as appropriate and select configure. Now it'll use that SDB, or that second VA storage disk, for the service desk items. It's going to boot up. It has an internal database. It'll also fire that up as well. Now you can see it wants us to go to port 9443. Let's go ahead and go there. Log in as SDadmin. Our appliance should be up and running with using the default embedded database. If we're going to configure an external database, we can go here to the database configuration and change that. There are other items, as we mentioned earlier in the slide set, that we can set. We'll set system services, administration password, ganglia configuration and monitoring, and online updates. You'll find the online update registration key in your Micro Focus Customer Center portal. You can also get to Terminal and File Explorer on the appliance itself. The logs will take you directly to the logs. The classic ZENworks Service Desk, and then the new End User Portal Service Desk. Here's the classic. This will be for your technicians, users, and customers. And this would be for your customers only if you wanted to do the enhanced version. Then you have a migration if you're going from 7.4. In this case we're not. We're ready to go. We can go over to our service desk, log in as super by default, and the Getting Started page comes up. This is where it has a single click to go ahead and configure certain things about your service desk system, configure license, connect to ZENworks, configure email, import users from LDAP, import ZENworks items, and configure ZENworks Store are some of the primary ones. You have other ones that you can create as well as you start enhancing your service desk teams, users, and workflows. That's how simple it is installing version 8 Service Desk Virtual Appliance. For Service Desk debug and log locations, you can check out TID 7017045 to put various components in debug mode. Should you need to restart, you can restart from the admin console, the Restart Services button, or Restart Services command from the systemctl command. For the lifetime and Service Desk service logs, you can reference TID 7018199. You can export logs via the Service Desk console reports, go to the log and export, and this will give you the logs as well as environment information. You can also reference the administration console under the logs tile. And on the appliance itself, it's under VA Storage Lifetime Logs. There are two cookbooks out there, version 7, TID 7021281, and version 8, TID 7023510. These will give you comprehensive upgrade and install information, reference links to documentation and videos. Some Service Desk tips. In the new End User Portal, make sure after the initial install, refresh the browser, Control F5, so that all the coding for the tiles are refreshed. The new End User Portal tile points to the Service Desk server IP, or DNS/Service Desk. The customization for the End User Portal is under Setup, Customize, New End User Portal tab, where you can change the banners and color scheme. What we've discussed in this presentation are advantages for the Common Appliance Framework model, the install strategies, install tasks and post-install tasks, system requirements, the Appliance Administration Console to manage the appliance and the OS, an Appliance install demonstration for version 8.0, debug and login information, resources, and tips. We hope this clears up some questions and gives a visual of what you can expect when installing Micro Focus ZENworks Service Desk version 8 Appliance. This concludes this training video on the installation of Micro Focus ZENworks Service Desk 8.0 installation.